Chain Soldier is back, baby! And this time, will our boy and his squad be strong enough to finally defeat the Thunder Gods? And what reward does he get next? Will he also be able to find new baddies? Or is there a chance for Bro to finally bring his sister back? This is Chain Soldier Season 2, and we're gonna recap the entire season and the gooning adventures of our #1 slave and his harem. So our MC, Yuuki, is as usual doing his chores and blessing us with a lot of fan service. When Bro finally finishes his slavery duties, he starts training with Kyoka. But an emergency breaks out. 8 civilians go missing. 6 are saved, but the 2 are still out there. So the gang heads out for a rescue mission, and with help from the 6th squad, mission success. And since Yuuki once again worked hard, if you know what I mean, his reward is, of course, way better. Sadly, I can't show that here or the YouTube gods will be pissed. And speaking of gods, the Supreme Commander of the entire Anti-Demon Corps calls a meeting with all squad commanders, and for some reason wants Yuuki to attend too. When they arrive at headquarters, Kyoka warns our boy to never ever make eye contact with the Supreme Commander, or she might take an interest in him. Oh, I like the sound of that. Oh, by the way, they run into the 2nd commander, Mira Communton, and she instantly starts a booby fight with Kyoka. Inside, they meet Belle Tsukiono, who immediately starts crying because she knows her ass is about to get cooked, since her whole squad got wiped by one of the Thunder Gods. Once they enter the meeting room, every squad commander is present, and every single one of them is a baddie. We're even blessed by an actual mommy, Fubuki Izuma. And yes, she's really a mom. She's the mother of Himari and Yachiho. And gentlemen, just like Master Oogway would say, if you can't get her or her sister, you can always see their mother. Thank you, Sensei. With everyone gathered, the Supreme Commander finally makes her entrance, Ren Yamashiro. But our boy can't control his gooner instincts, sneaks a quick peek, and instantly regrets it. The meeting started when this grandma, the former commander of the 1st squad, finally announced her retirement, passing the role to Konomi Tatara. Now to the main topic, the 8 Thunder Gods. And in order to defeat them, every commander needs to learn up. But there's one problem. Ren believes not every commander is capable of doing so. And obviously, she's talking about Belle. Because of her mistake, her squad got wiped out. And now she's about to face some really hardcore training with the Supreme Commander herself. But the meeting gets interrupted. A massive Shuki army is heading straight for their headquarters. Ren sends several commanders out, and they easily wiped out hundreds of Shuki. Once they locate the real culprits behind the attack, Ren personally heads out to deal with them, bringing Kyoka and Yuuki along. However, when the 2 finally arrive, the fight is already over. Ren soloed every single one of the bad guys with her absurdly broken power, Virakana, the all-encompassing Lord of the Cosmos. And keep in mind, she doesn't just have one power, she has a lot of them. Anywho, Ren is interested in Yuuki, so she orders Kyoka to turn off her powers and gets really curious about how the reward thing works. But since Yuuki didn't do much, his reward ends up being slightly suffocating in Kyoka's boobies. And Ren was like, "That's it? Hey lady, what do you mean that's it? That should have been me, not him!" Now enough gooning around. Yuuki notices that even though Ren looks different, she kind of reminds him of his sister. Now that the squad members' meeting is finally over, later that night, Shushu bathes in the hot springs with Himari, and Shushu has a very naughty plan. With the commanders' meeting ending early, Mini Shushu secretly heads over for Yuki's room to do what she's gonna do, gooning. But as she sneaks inside, she finds something weird. There's this strange black mass that seeps through the wall, and it turns out to be one of the 8 Thunder Gods, Shikoku, who for some reason bypassed the barrier by suppressing her power. And she's there to kidnap our boy, but Shushu won't let that slide. She even has backup from Miss Tenka herself. Wait, what is she doing there? Well, also, gooning. But Shikoku tries to calm everyone down because she knows that everyone here has business with Yuuki. So she starts sitting on Bro's face. Shikoku suggests they should have a gooning contest, and Tenka agrees, and the two of them start sexually assaulting Yuuki. Shikoku urges Shushu to join in, and she almost gives in, but something feels off. Her body feels heavy. Why? Because of her boobies? Nope. There's really something weird in the room, and she realizes Tenka would never allow an enemy near Yuuki. Well, it turns out this was all an illusion. Shikoku cast a spell that trapped Shushu and Tenka, but both girls manage to break free just before Shikoku can finish them off. Shikoku is, of course, forced to retreat. When Yuuki finally wakes up, he's told that an 8th Thunder God managed to break into his room. Tenka credits Shushu for reacting first, and Yuuki thanks her, which makes Shushu proudly declare that she'll always protect him. Girl, you naughty. Now, when Kyoka hears about this, for safety, the whole squad will now be sleeping in the same room until the barrier gets updated. Meanwhile, Ren Yamashiro hears the news, and she's really interested in why everyone is onto this guy, wondering if maybe she should join as well. The next day, Kyoka and Nei use slave sparkling stars to scan the area around the dorm, but nothing sus is found. But Yuuki feels like someone is watching them from above. And surprise, surprise, it's Ren. She was up there watching the transformation, and she presses Kyoka for more details about the slave ability, making it clear she wants to ride Yuuki herself. Ayo? Once Ren leaves, Kyoka starts getting sensitive and all touchy-touchy with Yuuki. But Bro didn't know she was just preparing a backbreaker. She's pissed because she wanted him not to look at Ren, and now Ren's all over Yuuki. And that girl has her own issues. She treats people like toys, and the #1 example is Belle Tsukiono, who probably has some PTSD. Well, if that were me, I wouldn't mind. Step on me, mommy. But Ren isn't their only problem. Now that she knows Kyoka's powers work, there's a 100% guarantee that every single lady in the Anti-Demon Corps will find out, and everyone will probably want to ride Yuuki. So Kyoka's instincts were right, because when the 7th and 6th units prepare for joint training, the 5th unit arrives with a dramatic entrance. The commander, Yakumo Izo, who's known for being all touchy-touchy, confirms that she also wants to ride Yuuki as well. So subscribe or no one will want to ride you.